Deadpool and Wolverine review. Let's get right into this. So, I don't even know where to start. The best part's probably just talking about generally what the movie means. Just not even like, the meaning itself of the movie. Um, like actually what it means, I guess, to like society and as a culture, man. Because celebration, like the closest thing I could think of is like No Way Home in terms of just like the impact it's having and like will have over time. And yeah, just seeing like the main thing, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, respectively, as Deadpool and Wolverine on screen together. It's something amazing to see. For some people, they've been waiting like so many years. Others, not as many. But either way, this is a movie that's for everyone. You know what I mean? It's for everyone to just come together and see and just celebrate. Just I don't know, like a high point for Marvel right now, especially when they've been having a lot of low moments in you know the these phases, these last few, and especially since Endgame. So this is a good, I guess, high point for Marvel because they needed it, and hopefully this is the start of just going back up, start good things. But no matter who you are, whether you're someone that just started watching Marvel, like, or just are casual, just watch like the big movies like this, or someone that like me, who's just in the nitty gritty and the weeds of it, who watches pretty much everything that Marvel produces. Regardless, everyone should be coming together for this, which they are, and just enjoying what the movie is. It's just something special. It doesn't happen that often. It's kind of like a mixture of No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness, in my opinion. Just because the cameos aspect of it reminds me of Multiverse of Madness, or what it should have been at least. And then, I don't know, the story kind of reminds me of No Way Home in a way, and just also like the way the culture is reacting to it, and just the impacts it's gonna have in general. But just seeing these two on screen together is amazing. Seeing Hugh Jackman back is amazing. Seeing Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, yeah, just amazing to see. I just want to get that out of the way. And I guess the second thing I want to talk about, and by the way, there's gonna be spoilers in this. I'm gonna be very just going like it's gonna be across the board. Just yeah, it's not really a format to this. It's gonna be everywhere. And obviously, I'm not gonna cover everything. I definitely missed things from the movie. Just a whole bunch of breakdowns. So that's not the type of video if you're looking for that. Obviously, New Rockstar, they do a great job. So that's definitely the movie to watch. Or that's definitely the channel to watch for breakdowns. I didn't pick up everything for sure. I know for a fact. But the next thing I want to talk about is just the direction. We know Sean, also great friends with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. They chose him, and he also wanted to do the job because he's friends with them. But yeah, they did a great job, all three of them. But the direction of this movie was fantastic. What really stuck out with me was the opening sequence of the movie. That was probably my favorite part. I say just because the jokes were hitting for me like a lot in that first let's say like 10 minutes of the movie. That's where I definitely had my most laughs, I'd say, personally. Not to say that I didn't have like a good time after that. I still had a lot of happy, fun moments, but yeah, the beginning is what my favorite part was. And just I don't know, the slow motion shots in this movie were just the sequences was just insane, especially in the beginning when he's just taking out the TVA agents. I thought it was great, especially with the music, which we'll get into later. But I don't know, just even the cinematography on that was amazing, to be honest. I loved it. And next, let's talk about the soundtrack itself. Because the soundtrack, I feel like it's a lost art nowadays in most movies. For most movies, soundtrack is just kind of dead, to be honest. It's just whatever. It's like, who cares? I'm going to be honest. But for Deadpool Wolverine, I'm happy to say that it helps a lot. It does what it does. Like, a soundtrack, essentially, at least the way I guess, perceived it or thought to be, is to enhance the movie. If you choose the right songs and I guess demonstrate them in the right way, as in this case, like they used over montages and slow mos, it can really make the scene just more heartfelt, emotional, more uplifting in ways, funnier, which is exactly what happened here. And I just love that. And obviously, it chose bangers on here, and that's good. I forget the name of the song by Madonna, but that one for sure. And the next thing I want to talk about, the cameos. For the cameos, we'll talk about the ones. I guess let's start with Henry Cavill. He was a Wolverine variant, and that's cool to see. We wanted that, and actually, many of us thought originally when it was rumored that he was going to be in this movie as Wolverine. We thought he was going to be the Wolverine in like the white tuxedo with the eye patch, but no. Or we thought, and then after we thought, oh, maybe that's like Daniel Radcliffe playing him, but that's not in fact. And also, they cut a whole bunch of stuff out from this movie, so who knows if he was original, if that was like, a cameo before. And they also planted fake ones, so we will never actually know. But obviously that was cool, and the DC jokes they were making, that was on point too. The Henry Cavill one especially, I just love it. Honestly, love Henry Cavill, so this is great for me to see. That was probably one of the most hype ones. I think the Henry Cavill one for me was probably the second most hype cameo out of all of these. And let's get into the most hype one. Man, Blade, seeing Wesley Snipes. Oh my god, I can't even put into to words how excited I was, because I didn't think it was gonna happen. We heard rumors about him. It was first, oh, he's gonna be in it, and after, no, and then it's like only the CW Blade's gonna be in it, and then we're like, oh, damn. And also pair that with the past beef, whatever it was, with him and Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't even know if Marvel wants someone like him there. But luckily, everything worked out the way we wanted, and yeah, the way they used him too was perfect. I just loved it. Actually, the way they used him, Elektra, and Gambit and X-23, I loved it. I loved the sequence. They actually helped them out. They actually helped Deadpool Wolverine out to reach their objective, to get back to their universe, out of the void. But yeah, it just meant so much to me. I don't know. It's just, I was like so geeked. I don't even know how to describe it. I was so geeked about the moment, seeing him. And then seeing him just interact with everyone is just, it's amazing. And then seeing him also just fight, it's just so good. And the joke that Ryan Reynolds made, I mean, Deadpool did. They're probably the same people, but yeah, the joke that was made there, that's funny. What else? I guess Elektra. I didn't really watch back then, and in particular Elektra, like her, I guess, involvement back in the day, but it was still cool. Like I said, she had a significant part in the movie as well. Who else? Gambit. We know that Channing Tatum was supposed to be Gambit, have his own movie actually as Gambit. Obviously, that didn't happen, but it was just cool seeing him as Gambit. And I don't know, I just found the accent funny. To me personally, at least, maybe for others they didn't, but also we know how Gambit's supposed to sound, and he was at least trying that from what it seemed. But yeah, it just sounded funny, to be honest. And then we had X-23. We knew that she was gonna be back because like the footage, the trailer stuff they released, I guess the promo last week, and it got spoiled, but it is what it is. She had by far, I guess, was it by far? Yeah, probably by far the biggest, I guess, impact out of all the cameos, and that's pretty obvious. We know why. We had this connection with Logan, so it was gonna be like that. And then we saw Chris Evans come back as Human Torch, which was originally rumored as well. Like the Elektra one was rumored, Chris Evans one was rumored, Wesley Snipes one was rumored, the Henry Cavill one was also rumored, X-23 as well, and the Gambit one. These are all rumored, but they're still pretty hype because they began with being, oh yeah, they're 100% gonna be in there. And it's like, now we're not sure, and then it's like, nah, they're cut out or something. They're not there anymore. But yeah, that's why I was hyped, because you never know what's gonna happen, because Marvel's known for cutting out cameos and just reworking stuff, obviously. So you never know. But they definitely did cut out like what happened to Storm, Cyclops, and stuff like that. And yeah, we don't know, because they did cut out some cameos. But I like the way they did Chris Evans, and then the joke they made about how he had to pretty much, like, when he died, like, yeah, the budget was going too much, man. We couldn't have it for much longer being like that. That was pretty funny. But yeah, seeing him back as Johnny Storm, that's pretty epic. And yeah, another thing I want to talk about for the cameos wise is that, like I said, Cyclops, Storm, even other cameos. I'm forgetting there's so many. There's so many cameos that are rumored for this movie. That didn't happen, and they definitely cut some out. And like I said, they also, faked some to throw us off, especially the leakers in particular. And it did work. Yeah, we'll never know what I guess could have been, because there were different scripts for this movie, but who knows? And different, I guess, stuff they just cut out in general. And for the story was pretty simple, but I do like how they involved TVA. This is my opinion. Everything that has to do with just any type of time travel has to have TVA involved. I just feel like it's the most, I guess, simple slash clean way of actually executing it. And I don't know. I just like the TV in general. What else? Cassandra Nova. We saw her in this. She had a significant part. Obviously, as the villain. And depending on who you ask, you either say that she was the villain or like who was the main villain, either her or Paradox. I like Paradox a lot, actually. I thought he's pretty funny. Obviously, the actor played him very well. And yeah, I don't know. He's a, I think he's a well written villain. I liked his role, and obviously he got what he deserved at the end, which is great to see. But yeah, the story itself was pretty simple if you think about it. It was just for them. Pretty much the end goal essentially was to just have Deadpool and Wolverine in the MCU, but especially Wolverine bring him back, and that's what they did with some implications at the end of just like future stuff about timelines, sacred timelines, stuff like that. Just implications of that, and then bringing others into the universe. And then obviously just like them being in the future, like how their job's not done. That's what the TVA said. How their job's not done. They're going to protect the timelines even more, even further. And obviously that's going to happen in Secret Wars. And I'm guessing the reason why they just, I guess going back to CAMEOS, the reason why they didn't have some of those, like they cut some of them out in the final product was probably because they're saving that for Secret Wars, which honestly makes more sense. Because then what would you have left in that, right? Because the amount of cameos that were supposed to happen this originally is ridiculous. Yeah, the story stuff feels pretty simple, but it worked. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. And this is not for the story. If you went, like, I need to, like, I don't know, I didn't talk about this yet. If you went into this movie expecting a good story, if you're going into this expecting, like, the movie to depend on the story first, like, prioritize that, and then the stuff after, no. This is for the fans. This is fan service, but it's all good. And on top of that, we were expecting fan service and it's fun. And it delivered on both those ends, which I'm happy about. And the story wasn't like, it wasn't like the story was dirt. The story was just like, okay, simple, average, I guess. But it did its job, I'd say, for the most part. Well, I was pretty, like, excited fanning out, so I probably didn't even catch the, I guess you say, like, logic gap holes in the story itself. Because I was just, like, so, I don't know, I was just so out of it, just from seeing all the cameos and everything else that's going on, seeing just Wolverine, Deadpool together on screen. So I definitely missed that. But yeah, let me know down below what the logic gaps are in the story, because honestly, I wouldn't know. But yeah, the story itself was simple. And going into that, my rating for this movie would be, if I'm being realistic, probably 8, just because the story was simple. Could have been, I guess, more complex, but that's not what the movie's about. It's about being fun. Just being fun, being a blast. And yeah, it's the fan service, which is like I said, what I said, they delivered on that. But still, the story I feel it could have been a bit better, realistically, at 8 just because of that. But still, the cameos and everything, the fan service was insane. But as a fan, I'd say it's a 10, because if you're just a Marvel nerd, whether you're casual or not, I mean, we'll get into that later. But yeah, just as a fan, as a Marvel, I guess, nerd for the MCU, I give it a 10 just because of everything. I still dug the story. But just, yeah, the cameos and fan service was insane. That was insane. That just for me would make it like a 10, just seeing everything else that happened. I guess the next thing to discuss would be the ratings will differ based on, obviously, like, if you're a casual, if you're like a Marvel nerd, like a Marvel head, into like the rumors and leaks and just all this. Because you need to understand the references and jokes for Deadpool. That's just how the movies have been. That's just how Deadpool is. And depending on that, whether they hit or if you even understand them, that's another thing. And obviously you just need to know about that. And also, I feel another major part is the cameos. If you have like ties to that, if you have like, I guess, an attachment to those heroes or cameos, that's another thing. And on top of that, story, like, not only if you like, I guess the main thing is like for the story, if you understand it, because it has a lot of ties to Loki, just because the TVA and the timeline stuff, like, that's why. So if you don't watch Loki, like, there's a lot of stuff tied to it. And they even mention Loki season 1, episode 5, and yeah, because of events that happened in there. they do mention that. So if you haven't watched Loki, you might be a bit confused depending on how much you understand. Just like, I guess, the timelines and all the multiversal shenanigans beforehand. Because if you haven't watched anything from like for the timelines, about the timeline, sorry, prior, it's probably gonna be very confusing, to be honest. But besides that, I think, yeah, that's probably where ratings will differ. So for me, mine's so high because I already, understand all that stuff. I understand the value of the cameos, like significance of them, like what they mean, just to people, especially to me. And also, I got like understood most of the jokes and references. What else? Yeah, seeing Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds together, that was epic. But yeah, this is for the Culture Man's movie. Go watch if you haven't already. And I definitely didn't cover everything because the video would be so long. But I covered, I guess, the general things I want to talk about. But yeah, let me know what you think down below about this movie. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.